Hey everyone, welcome back to our React series. Today we are diving deep into React performance optimization. If your React app feels slow or unresponsive, don't worry, by the end of this session, you will know exactly how to optimize it using React.memo, useMemo, and use callback and virtualization. So let's get started. So first, let's understand why React re-renders components. React automatically re-render when. So here is the stages like the state or props of a component change. The parent component re-render even if props are the same or context value updates. But too many re-renders can slow down your app. So let's learn how to prevent unnecessary re-renders. Meet first React.memo, a higher order component that prevents re-renders if props don't change. So how does it work? If props remain the same, React skip re-rendering and boost performance for static components. Here is the example. You can see using react.memo. Here we use our import react from react, and here we use a constant greeting react.memo, and here we use a console.log greeting component render, and here we use a export default greeting. Now you can see here we use a using react.memo in app, and here we use our greeting name like John, and here we use a button on click set count increment count. Here I can see here we have a functions like constant count set count and react use state 0. Now first we create a greeting.js. So we copy this code here. Now we paste it here. Now we save this. Now in the app.js input a greeting. Now here we use a reactor use it. Here we want to use it, and now here we use inside the function app. Here we use a const. Now we save this. Here you can see we have a hello chain, and here we have an increment button. You can see it's increment 13, 14, 15, 16. Next, let's talk about useMemo. It catches expensive calculations so they don't run on every render. So here is the example using useMemo to optimize factorial calculation. Here you can see we have import react, and here we have a functions expensive component, and here we have a functions to compute a factorial constant operation, and here we use a number, and here we have a app function app, and here we use a constant number set number. So first of all we copy this code, and here we paste it in our app.js file. Now here you can see we have an expensive component number, and here we use a const compute factorial, and here we use a return num, and num is greater than equals to 1, and 1 num dot compute factorial num minus 1. I can see use memo catches computed factorial until number changes. So here we use a constant factorial equals to use memo and compute factorial number, and here is a number in a square bracket. Now here we return a factorial of numbers, and here we return a factorial. Now here is the second, like my app. Here we copy this code and paste it here. Here we save this. Now here is the uh, factorial of 5 is 120, and here you can see we have a 5, and here we use a 3. Now you can see here is this 3 factorial is 6. Now we use here 9. You can see it's giving a 9 factorial. Here we use a 2. Now here we use a 1. Now We refresh this. Now you can see here is a file automatically. Now let's optimize function using a use callback. It memorize function to tend get recreated on every render. Here is the examples preventing function recreation, and you can see here we use a import React. Here we have a console.log button render. When we click on a button on click, it's a handle click event. We copy this whole code, paste it here. Now you can see here we have a React.memo, and here we handle a click event. Now you can see here is the button, and here we use a preview set count, and here we have a count button. We save this. Now you can see here we have a count here 0, and when I click, now you can see it's give me a counting, and it's increment. Now you can see here. Finally, let's talk about virtualizations when dealing with long list. Rendering too many elements slow down performance. So here we have a solution like visualization is to only render visible items using library like a React window. So here we first install a npm install React window. Now we copy. Now you can see here we use that code. Now npm install React window. Now it's installing, and it's take time. Now it's installed successfully. Now we use npm start. Now here you can see here is the example virtualized list. So here we use an import React from React. Here we use an import fixed size list from list React window. Here we have a row component for each item list. Here we use a constant row index style, and here we use a d style, and here we give a style item index +1. Here we use a function app, and here we fixed size list 200 with 330, and we copy this code and paste it here. Now we save this. Now you can see here is the React app, and here is the its item. Now you can see its height is, now you can see its height is 200, and width is 300, and item size is 30, and item count is 1000. Now you can see here we have 1000 items. If we use here a 900, we save this. Now you can see it's only give me a 900 last item. Now here we use a 500, we save this. I can see its last item is 500. Now we fix this height. Now we use a 500 pixel, and here we use a width is a 500. Now we save this. I can see here we have a 500. Now you can see it's 500 length and the 500 breadth. When to use virtualized list when handling large data sets, example product list, user table, and chest messages, and when scrolling causes UI lag due to too many elements in the DOM, and when optimizing performance in data heavy application. So here is the benefit of visualizations. Instead of rendering 1000 items, React only re-renders visible items, reducing memory usage and improving performance. Let's recap the best practice for React performance optimization. So use React.memo for components that don't change often. Use useMemo to cache expensive calculation. Use callback uh, to prevent unnecessary functions recreations, and use visualizations for handling large lists. This technique will make your app much faster and more efficient. That is for today's session. If you have any question, feel free to ask in the comment. Keep smiling and happy coding. Thank you.